This video is sponsored by LootFish. Check out the link in the description for more information.
It was 2020 and I just moved from England to America to study music. Everything was going really well until it wasn't, and the whole world shut down and everything had to go online. All the university classes were online, and that really made it hard, especially in the music field, because ensembles and private lessons we had to do over the internet, which of course there's always the problem of latency, you know, that the gap between you speaking and the person hearing it. And that was really awful for learning, because especially guitar lessons and ensembles where there's multiple people, you just can't have that in-person connection, which I think is the really great thing about music college. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to this, the LootFish. Now I think I could have really done with one of these 5 years ago, and I believe that's where this company has come from. Was from COVID and the absence of a device that allowed you to jam with people over the internet with zero latency, which is honestly crazy. I never thought we would ever get here with technology, but here we are, and I'll show you what's inside the box right now. So here we go, this is the LootFish, this is the box that it comes in. It's this very striking orange, blue, white. It's got this little fish on there. And I've already unboxed this and used this, but this is the unboxing experience. Here's the unit itself in this nice bag, we'll get to that in a second. Also in the box, you get a few cables and a quick start guide, a power cable for the LootFish itself, an Ethernet cable, which is going to be very useful, and I'll explain that in a second, some earbuds, which is a nice touch to have in case you don't have any, and just some paperwork as well, just to help you get started with the device. So this is the LootFish, the device itself, and it has two combo XLR jack ins, which are switchable from mic and line, so you can plug a microphone or an instrument in. It's got an Ethernet port, which allows it to connect to your internet router directly. It also has a monitor control for your headphones or speakers, and it's got the two gain controls for both channels. It also has a 3.5mm headphone jack and a 1/4 inch jack, which is really useful if you want to connect various different headphones. And this USB-C port is for powering the device. So alongside the LootFish, you'll also need a subscription to their Stream software, which will allow you to jam with other people that have a LootFish. And the way this connects to your computer is there's no direct connection with the LootFish and your computer. This connects to your Ethernet out of your router, and it'll detect your computer connected to that internet to make it work. I don't really know how that works. It's wizardry, but it does, and it is awesome. Now the folks over at LootFish put me in touch with a guy called Jason, who was going to take me through my first jam and show me how it all works, and I've got to say it was really, really cool. It's still in beta, so there's a few things they're still working on. Since I recorded the session they've added a bunch more features, like having a personal mixer and metronomes and stuff like that, so they're adding stuff all the time. And this is still really new technology, and it's really cool to see something pretty groundbreaking come into the market. One quick thing before I show you my first jam with the LootFish was how I got this set up. So apart from the Ethernet being connected and connecting it through LootFish Stream, I put a dynamic mic through channel 2, which was just for vocals only to communicate and make sure we're on the same page. And then input 1, I went straight from my pedal board. Now I run a DI rig with my electric guitar, and that's just how I get my best sound. You can mic up an amp and do that as well, totally okay. And then I was plugged in through the headphone jack to listen to it all. And then to record this, because there is no USB direct recording out, I took a line from the headphone and put that into my audio interface where I recorded it. So that's what you'll be hearing on the video, is the headphone out from my mix. I've just set up everything to hopefully join this stream. We've got the LootFish, my laptop, a quad cortex and a mic so we can communicate. And yeah, I'm excited. This is really fun. So I did have to come into my living room where the router is. I don't have a long enough Ethernet cable, so do bear that in mind, because you have to plug the LootFish into the Ethernet.
Someone to bust out some Bob Seger.
So I've had a couple jams with LootFish now, and here are my thoughts. Now, I've got to say, I'm really impressed. I think it's a really, really cool piece of gear that I think everyone should have. You're able to play with people who are, right now, 500 miles away is the limit. But it's awesome. The lack of latency, even just speaking with someone, it is wild to me that this is possible. Now, it's only as good as your internet connection is. Now, here in Nashville, I'm lucky to have really good quality internet, and when you're plugged into the Ethernet as well, it's much faster. So in more rural areas where internet isn't as good, maybe it won't be as seamless, but I feel like internet connections are just only getting faster. So that's a good thing. And the jams I've had have been only just guitars so far. I would love to try it with bass and drums as well to see how that is. But knowing now that there's a metronome, like a global metronome, that's a really cool addition, and for keeping everyone in time. I think it will be great for rehearsals, for co-writes, for students. I think music colleges would really benefit from something like this, just like I would have if we had this 5 years ago. And I think it's a really great piece of kit that everyone should have the chance to use at some point, because I was blown away by the lack of latency. I feel like we're so used to nowadays having that delayed response as video calls have become the norm. But this really felt like you were in the room with them, and I can't explain how weird that was, but in a really great way. So I highly recommend it, and I think everyone should try it.